Hello everyone, in this video I'll be explaining you the problem AI product development. So this was asked in Codeforces educational round 191 rated for division 2. So let's read out the problem. Maximum and Nikita are working together on a project consisting of n lines of code. So Maximum starts working immediately and writes at a speed of x lines per hour until the very end. Okay. Nikita has two options: not use AI and write from the very beginning at a speed of y lines per hour. And the second option is spend Z hours first setting up an AI agent, writing nothing during that time, and then writing at speed of 10y, basically 10 times of her speed. Okay. And Nikita makes this choice before work begins and does not change it later. So once she makes these, any of these two choices, so she will not be switching back to other choice. So while Nikita is setting up the AI, he does not write any code at all. Okay, yeah, when he's setting up AI, he does not write code at all, but Maxim continues working at a speed of x lines per hour. So the project is considered complete as soon as the Maxim and Nikita together have written at least n lines of code. Okay. If the project can be completed before the AI setup ends, then the work ends at that moment. So basically, our task is, if n lines of code has been written, so even if AI is not been set up, so it's not like we need to again, set up completely the AI and then we can code it. So time is measured using full hour. If the project is completed in the middle of an hour, this hour is counted fully. Basically, let's say n lines of code you have done in 1.5 hours. Okay, 1 hour 30 minutes. So it's like you can consider that as 2 hour in the question website. Okay, now Nikita chooses where to use AI or not, whether to use AI or not. Okay, determine the minimum number of full hours after which the project will be completed. So we need to determine the minimum number of hours in which the project is gonna complete. Okay. So let's go to test cases. Okay, we have 10 test cases. In the first test case we have 1 1 1 1. So okay, so in the problem statement what they'll give is, they'll give n, they'll give x, they'll give y, they'll give z. Okay, n is basically number of lines of code. Okay, so it's like these many lines of code we have to write as a task. X is basically speed of Maxim. Okay, it's like x lines of code per hour. Now what is y? Similarly, it is speed of Nikita. Okay, so it's like y lines of code per hour. Now what is z? Z is basically the number of hours for setting the AI agent. Okay. Now together both this Maxim and Nikita is gonna code. Okay, they both together they are going to code. Now in the question what they will ask is, we need to tell minimum number of hours to complete the task. So to complete the task in the sense n lines of code. Okay, so I think you have understood. Now we need to basically determine the minimum number of hours required to complete the task. So what we can do is, in case of Maxim, we don't have any choice. But in case of Nikita, she has two choices. Okay, the first choice is um, she can write the code at a speed of y lines of code per hour. Okay, the second option is she can set up AI agent, and in order to set up AI agent, she requires ZRs, and then she can uh, code at a speed of 10 times y, okay, per hour. So in the question they've said that these two choices, right, whatever choices we have, these two choices will be considered at the starting of the Nikita doing the code. So when she starts, let's say this is the first one. Okay, if she chooses the first one, so in the later time she cannot move to the second. If she chooses the second case, so she cannot move to the first one in the middle of the writing code, right? So it's like initial only we have to choose whichever we gives the optimal one. So I think what we can do is we can take answer in both cases, meaning we will code for the Nikita just writing code at speed of y lines per hour. We can do this. Then what we can do is the second option we can take. Let's say she has been setting up the agent for ZRs, and then she is coding at a 10x speed. Okay, so first thing first, what we'll do is let's take example. In the first example, we had n as 1, x as 1, y as 1, and z is also 1. It means we need to write one line of code. Okay, one line of code we have to write, and maximum speed is one line of code per hour, right? Similarly, Nikita's speed is also same, and to set up AI agent, Nikita requires 1 hour. So we'll do with the both the case. What we'll do is we will basically make sure both Nikita and Maxim, they are coding at a time, right? So when they're coding at a time, it's like I'm choosing the first option wherein Nikita will code at a speed of y. So if you consider time length, this is 0, this is 1 hour, this is 1 hour, this is second hour, this is third hour, up to so on. It's basically a time axis, we can say. Okay, so now let's say both Nikita and Maxim start coding. So what will happen is after 1 hour, okay, after 1 hour, Maxim would have written one line of code, and Nikita would also have been written one of code. Basically, both it's like when both they are coding at a time. So it's like they'll be writing two lines of code, after 1 hour. Okay, after 1 hour. So now in this case, what we have seen is since one line of code, if that is written, then our task is completed. So it's like in 1 hour only they have written the code. So the minimum number is 1 only right now, but we'll consider the second case as well. The second case, what we'll do is, let's say Nikita, now she's not coding, first she is setting up the AI agent. When she is setting up the AI agent, in that case she will not be coding, right? So here she will not be coding, but Maxim will start here only. So in that case, Maxim would have completed one line of code, and now Nikita is at 1 hour wherein she have set up the AI agent. Now she is ready to code at 10x speed, which is like she had one line of code per hour, right? Here we have, now she can code at 10x, basically 10 lines of code per hour, 10 lines of code per hour. But if you see, the thing is, the problem says if you have written one line of code, then it's like task is completed. So it's like maximum has written the code, even if Nikita is setting up the AI agent. So yeah, definitely here answer is 1. Now let's consider example 2. Or let's take example 4, right? We have n as 110, x as 10, y as 9, z as 1. So it's in that way only nx yz, right? Yeah. So now if you take this example, right, what we have to do is, see, we'll consider choice 1, wherein Nikita will not set up the AI agent. No AI agent. If that's the case, then both Maxim and Nikita they'll be coding at a speed of, it's like after 1 hour Maxim will be coding 10 lines of code, Nikita will be coding 9 lines of code. So after 1 hour, how many lines of code in total will be covered up? It will be 10 plus 9, which is x plus y, right? 10 plus 9. So now we want to know key how many hours they require, right? So we need to complete n hours of code, n lines of code, sorry. So if we divide n divided by x plus y, right? Now what is it? It is 110 divided by x plus y is 19. So if you do this, what it is going to give you? Give me a second. So 110 divided by 19, if you do, it is going to be 5, right? So it is going to give you 5, and then we have some reminder. 5 means basically it's like at the end of 5 hour, how many lines of code they would have written? So you do 19 into 5, right, which is 95. So 95 lines of code they would have written. Now the remaining line of code what we have is 15 lines of code, right? 110 minus 95 is 15. So this 15 line of code, now what they'll do is, in the next hour, basically the 6th hour, they'll be completing. In the 6th hour, they'll be completing still 19 lines of code, because their speed is 10 plus 9, right? So 19 lines of code they would have written. But yes, when like 15 lines of code is only required right now. So when we choose the first option wherein no AI agent is chosen by Nikita, so in that case our minimum hours is 6. Now let's take choice 2. Now choice 2 is like AI agent will be using, right? So let me write one more time. We have this thing, we have y, we have z as well. Now the thing is so now, okay, now what will happen is, Nikita is using AI agent. When she is using AI agent, she requires 1 or 2 set up AI agent. So if that is the case, so now Maxim he will be starting his work, right? Maxim will start his work. So during 1 hour, how many lines of code he would have written, right? Is the question. So during 1 hour, he will be writing 10 lines of code, right? So it's like 110 minus 10. If you do, the remaining line of code that needs to be completed is now 100 after 1 hour. So 1 hour has been elapsed, and maximum written 10 lines of code. So now 110 lines of code has to be written by both the Maxim and Nikita, right? I think you have got this right. Here it's basically what we'll have to do is how many hours, how many hours will be there, right? So those many hours Nikita will not be working, but Maxim will be working. So you have to do x into z. When you do x into z, X is basically number of lines he'll be writing per hour, and this is number of hours. So you'll be getting when Nikita is setting up the AI agent, so in those hours how many lines of code he'll be written. So okay, now let's say if the case was like you need to write only one line of code, let's say when it was a question we have to write only one line of code. So while setting the AI agent only, Nikita, when she is setting the AI agent, so Maxim would have written the 10 lines of code. So in 1 hour only our answer is like our task is done, so minimum hours is 1. But since we have n as 1 and 10 lines of code has been written by Maxim, and we have 100 lines of code to be covered. Now both are ready, Maxim and Nikita. See, now the speed of Nikita has 10x, which is like 10 times y, which is 10 into y is 90, and maximum speed is 10. So both will be writing together, right? So they have to cover, they have to write 100 line of code now, which is like remaining n alcohol, which is 100, right? Divided by the speed. Speed is now x plus 10 times y. So as you can see, it will be 100. X is 10. 10 times y is giving you 90. So it is also 100. So is equal to 1. So 1 hour is already spent, and 1 more hour we need to complete the code. So minimum hour is 2 hour. So if you take minimum of these two, here we have 6, here we have 2. So which is minimum? This is minimum. So fourth one, if you see, that is going to be 2. The fourth case answer is here 2. Yeah. So I think you have understood. So while coding, what we'll do is we'll take both the choices. The first choice I've already explained, like how we have to do. We have to do this n divided by x plus y. In the second one, what we'll have to do is we'll have to subtract n minus x into z. X into z is basically speed of maximum, and this is the number of hours required by Nikita to set up the AI agent. So when she's setting up the AI agent, in that case also maximum will be working. So the remaining lines of code, whatever you will have, now both, if this value is lesser than 0, which means Nikhil would have written not Nikhil, sorry, Maxim would have written more lines of code, right? So in that case, when Nikita is setting up the AI agent, Nikhil would have Maxim would have already finished the writing of code. So if it is lesser than 0, then your minimum number of hours will be n divided by x. Why n by x? Because the speed of maximum is x lines per hour, and total we need to cover n lines of code. Okay, and we'll be checking the point wala case. When you divide n by x, you will get some x point something, right? X point y, like whatever value you are getting, right? So we'll consider the case using modulo n modulo. We'll check if n modulo x is greater than 0. So in that case, number of all will be increased by 1. Okay, now the case here, whatever we had, the case was like this thing was greater than 0, right? N minus xz is greater than 0. In that case, now number of hours will be whatever hours you have, z plus, okay, n minus x star z modulo x plus 10 times y. And we have to check again one more time this part. If this part has a sorry, not modulo, this is divided by, and this part has, if it is modulo greater than 0, so in that case we need to add 1 to the answer. So I think you have understood, like even if you don't understand, don't worry, while writing the code I'll again tell you what we're doing. So let's code it up. So what all we have test case. So test case I've taken at this position. Now we have nx, y, z. So we have n x, y, z. Right, we have taken these values. Now what we'll do is we'll take answer, we'll choose the choice 1. Choice 1 is no AI agent. So in that case our answer will be simply n divided by x plus y, both Maxima and Nikita's speed. Now we need to check if n modulo x plus y, if this thing is giving reminder, which means still there are left with the number of lines of code. So in that case we need one more extra hours to complete, so answer will be answer plus plus. Now we'll choose the second choice. Second choice is choosing AI agent. So here first thing we'll have to check if n minus x star z, what n is basically total number of lines of code to be completed in a task, x is basically the speed of Maxim per hour, and z is basically Nikita required to set up the AI agent. While she is setting up the AI agent, Nikhil will be coding. So how many hours? Let's say if it is 2 hours, so he'll be coding 2 times of x, right? So we'll have to check if this value, if it is lesser than 0, which means when Nikita is setting up the agent, by that time only Nikhil would have completed the task. So we need to figure out like how much time did it take to complete the task. So in that case, let's take answer 2. Okay, in that case our answer 2 is gonna be n divided by x, because Nikhil alone is writing the code, so it's basically x lines of code per hour. Now we need to check again if n modulo x, if it has some value, then your answer 2 will be plus plus, right? Now okay, if this value is greater than or equal to 0, which means while Nikita have set up the AI agent, still there are number of lines of the code which needs to be written. So if that's the case, then your answer is gonna be first z, because this many hours is taken by Maximum, and he would have written how many lines of code. So we'll subtract from n, so he would have written x times z lines of code, right? Now the remaining whatever n we have, or let me take one more variable that will be correct. Remaining n is going to be n minus x times z. Okay. Now this remaining n is gonna completed by both Maximum and Nikita, and now maximum speed is x only, but Nikita's speed is 10 times of y. Now we have to check if this again remaining n modulo x plus 10 times of y, if it has some remainder, which means there are left out still with the number of lines of code to be written. So in that case we need one more hour in order to complete the task. Once we are done, we have to output the minimum of both the answers. Let's run it. Yeah, it is getting fast. Let's try to submit this code. AI project development, yeah. So it has got accepted. So in this way you could have easily solved the problem. Basically it was taking both the choices, and in both the choices what is the minimum number of hours, so we have to take that. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching the video.